Hey everyone, welcome back. This is Lucid, and we are missing, once again, Sackening. Pour one out for Sackening. But again, yeah, he's kind of busy, and I'm continuing my recording session to try to get caught up to where we are in the game. Turn 69. Unfortunately, I'm missing some very, very important turns, and I just have no way to get them. The bot didn't store them, and I didn't save them. So, yeah, we're missing turn 67 and turn 68. So we're going to have to jump in and go with turn 69. And you can tell those were very important because that basically was when one of the throne rushes was happening. So with that, we'll go ahead and just jump in and see what's going on. So let's start with the thrones. Let us start with thrones. So let's see what happened. And I actually don't know. And we'll try to just surmise as best we can what has happened as Atlantis was going for some of his thrones. So one of the thrones he was going for was this one. And it looks like we missed an epic battle. And I just have to apologize to you for that. But I think we can tell what happened. There was a major Bogarus army that had moved out this way, and it must have bumped, or multiple armies must have bumped, because I don't know where the Ulm army is, with the Atlantis squad here. Meanwhile, oh man, we missed some really important turns. I'm really just so sorry, guys. I just don't have a way to get it. Meanwhile, Utgard has come in and taken this throne from Atlantis, but now he is in Ulm's cap circle. In Ulm, there's very little left of Ulm. We see Marignon has basically eaten. He's moved in here, presumably to defend this throne from Atlantis. But no, he's moved in. He's got. He just had a big battle here where he took this fort. I don't know if there's a big stack under this because again, I just don't have those turns. But yeah, Marignon is moving south. So you can see a lot has been happening in the game. And Ulm is now basically to their capital. And then a couple forts that are under siege. And then Bogarus, yeah, sitting on top of this throne. Meanwhile, Marignon's still making a pretty good claim on this Gath area. We can see Gath continuing to fight for control of his lands. Raga also saying that they want a peace. Wait, whoops. And sending in a fallen angel. Now, okay, let's talk about Soul Vortex, things that's good. Phoenix Pride, things that's good against. It's okay against normal troops. Things that make it not okay. Flyers. If you can fly, then you can kill them every time they respawn. It's also not good against Soul Slaying stuff. Or generally Astral Mages, and there's a fair amount of Astral Mages, and there's Air Elementals. Flies back here, immediately dies, but it looks like he kills some mages with him. Pops back over here, and these guys surround him. Now is super afflicted, lost an arm, fatigued out, so if he dies this time, it's it. And he's probably going to instantly die. Air Elemental is pretty good against Soul Vortex dudes. Oh, but he's waking back up. Oh, looks like they got him before he woke up. He killed 2 Crystal Sorceresses when he jumped to the back, but that was it. Not a very good trade, considering all the gear that was on him. But, they're essentially replaceable. It's just blood slaves. So Gath is probably a little frustrated that all of these people are fighting over his land while he's trying to get it back for himself. Kind of funny. Coming down, we'll keep looking at... let's check out what's going on in the Utgard area. Ooh, repelling... So Utgard kind of making a bit of a resurgence here. He's rolled out, he's taken this stuff, he's got all these forts back. Ulm is looking in trouble. It's unclear if Ulm's going to come after them or go up and try to liberate this stuff from Marignon. I have no idea which one he's going to do. Here we have a battle underwater, where Marion's getting pretty feisty, thinking they can take a fort from Atlantis underwater. There's no two ways about it, guys. That's pretty feisty. Now, one of the things Marion might have been able to do, if they brought the right kind of chart makers, because I think some of the chart makers, I think they could maybe go into a communion, is if he could have Fog Warrior his own water elementals. Fog Warrior water elementals do pretty good. But I think Atlantis just had more. So yeah, it gets wrecked. Kill some of the chaff, though, but not a very good trade. Yeah. Rip. Let's take a look at the global situation again real quick. I want to see if... Okay, nothing's changed. Okay, so I think we have finished... This was the barbs? Yeah. So we finished kind of looking at Utgard. Let's look at the Marinese front. Yeah. Marion also has cracked the fort here on this Ulmish fort. And this fort has been pretty heavily contested for a long time. But with Ulm completely canned up in this capital now, with only chaff, this is a bunch of garbage. Kind of a liability. Not very clear what he's going to do. Now, one thing Ulm should do is he should be pinging all these provinces with wolves or thralls every turn. Because enough of them will kill PD, and they're honestly a liability in a major fight. Okay, Atlantis has, been completely shut down. If we look at the situation for Atlantis, first of all, let's see this throne. Oh no, and they lost this to Raga. Atlantis they basically throne rushed. They've basically been knocked out of the top position now. Really not looking good for them. Major Ragan army coming in. There's nothing outside. Oh man, poor Atlantis. I feel bad. I was kind of rooting for him to get the throne victory win. But now he's just in such dire straits. He just overextended. He's lost this throne. He's lost this throne. He's lost the Utgard throne. He's lost this throne. He was trying to get this throne, didn't get that. He does have this throne, which he managed to get. This was part of the throne rush equation. So that's interesting. He did get this. Which actually, this one would have been enough if he didn't lose this one. And if he didn't lose the one to Utgard. So interestingly, if he had kept this army, which went after this throne up here owned by Ulm, if he kept this to defend this against Utgard, held it, and he got this one, he would have won the game if he didn't lose this one, I think. But again, we're missing some of the critical turns where, one turn this way or that way would have changed things. Okay. So Atlantis now super on the back burner. Let's see if we have score graphs where we can... Oh my god, look at this, guys. This is the cost of throne rushing. And with this, it has provided the cover for Raga to become just huge. Just absolutely huge. Now, Bogarus has also gotten a little bigger. In Marignan, we don't have them, but they're probably also a bit bigger. They're probably like right over here. So everybody's gotten a little bigger except for Atlantis. I mean, Atlantis has been cut down to like 4th place. In terms of ascension points, you can see he got so close and then dropped like a rock. Now, there's throne claiming that needs to be done. There's a lot of empty thrones right now, so this will pop back up in a bit. Army size, let's look at this graph. You can see this is Bogarus. So Bogarus probably leading. Marignan maybe pretty close. Raga, a little bit on the struggle bus from the army size perspective. And he's lost a lot of his Zayedins. So Raga, while the biggest, does not have the biggest army. So he has a pretty low army or power density, I would say. But he does have some higher quality troops, like the Zayedins, and then also some of the blood summons, which he's been getting. But Marignan also has high quality units like the whatchamacallit? The Fallen Angels. We have to take a look. I haven't really been focusing on Bogarus that much. But they've got a huge old army. I wonder how much is chaff, and then how much is, he could be getting demons too. Income-wise, Bogarus number 1 by a good margin. Where's Raga in all of this? Raga, significantly lower income. Fort's Raga the clear leader. Interesting. So if we take a look at the Raga situation for thrones, Raga's got this one. They've got this one. They've got, so it's 1, 2, 3. And Atlantis has these two. Raga really has 3 thrones. So Raga is the biggest by a margin, but is not in a clear position to throne rush. I mean, they're going to get, they have these 3. They're in a good position to get this one back. So that would make 4, but he has to get 7. And Raga has lower military density than everybody else. I don't think this is really very heavily stacked towards Raga anymore. This could be, guys, a Bogarus game. Let's take a look at Bogarus. From Bogarus's perspective, he's got this one, which you could argue should have been his the whole time. He's had his mortal enemy, Atlantis. He waited for them to throne rush, and now they're being put down like a dog. He's also laying siege to this throne, and potentially could have very good claim to it. He's got major armies down here. He's got this on top of the Joman cap, so he's almost definitely going to be taking this from Atlantis. A lot of Hoburg crossbows. And he's going to be taking this fort from Atlantis. He's set up to gain a ton of territory from Atlantis. And if Atlantis falls and loses all of his land holdings, he's not going to be able to keep all of his underwater holdings for that long. You know, Bogarus can get storm demons and stuff, and storm demons are very good underwater. But in terms of thrones, he's got 1, 2, this would be 3, but he's going to struggle to get a lot more. He would have to get this one, which is going to be very hard for Bogarus to take. This one he could take, but that would require a war with Marignan. What it's really evolving into is I don't think there was a clear leader of anybody else who set up to throne rush the same way Atlantis was. And the game has really shifted into Atlantis just getting eaten. Absolutely eaten. While everybody else basically is going to reorganize. With basically a new power system and kind of new major nations. Very interesting. Let's go through and scroll through all the battles, because I don't want to miss any important ones. This looks like a Wind of Death trap. Yep. What the fuck are you doing? What is this guy doing? What is he doing? Is this like the 5th time I've seen something? This is obviously a setup for casting Wind of Death. He doesn't do it. What the hell is happening? Oh, he's not high enough death. Alright, so this is what happened. He scripted Wind of Death Retreat. He went off script cast Bless, because he can't cast... You have to be Death 3. I think Death 3. Can you do you have to be Death 4 even? Yeah, you can be Death 3 with 2 gems. So he could have done Wind of Death, Wind of Death. Yeah. But he needed a Skull Staff. Which is a sizable investment, because there's a good chance that guy dies. Okay. This is the underwater defense. Gath with a little pingaroo. Marignan with some devils. We've got some Fiends of Darkness. I actually like Fiends of Darkness. They don't get a lot of love, but they're very good in darkness, obviously. And you get a lot of them. You get them in higher numbers than you get a lot of the other demons when you summon them, especially like storm demons. And they're flying too, which is nice. Fallen Angel, Vampire Lord. I think we've seen all this. We saw that. I mean, where is this? This is the, yeah. This is for the throne near Bogarus's camp. This does make me happy, because I mean, all the big important spells are coming out, and this is supposed to be a new player game. These guys are doing like very good late game stuff. It's really cool to see. A lot of Dominions, you get your ass kicked. Like, all within one game. You get your ass kicked by somebody, and then you're like, oh, I should do what they did. And then if you can do it, you do. Marignon. Illwinter with all the attacks. Okay. So there we go. Let's go to turn 70. Turn 70, okay. Well, let's not do it from the menu. Let's go around and take a look. Wait, let's take a look at the menu real quick and just see what... Most of the conflict appears to be Marignon related. So let's go to Marignon. Okay, we'll start here. Marignon sending in a plague doctor. And these were added, I think, mid-patch. They can spread disease, which is kind of hilarious. And then we have Bogaroo storming the Ulmish fort. There's not much inside. Oh man, honestly I'm rooting. I have to admit, I'm rooting for Bogaroo. I kind of wanted Atlantis to pull off the throne win, or the throne rush, but I am firmly on Team Bogaroo right now. I mean, if they can win with this as a start position and a failed expansion in your first turn, anything is possible. And they were at peaceful relations with Atlantis the whole time. So a lot of this Marignon stuff is really just kind of raiding over here in the Ulmish territory. Gath runs in, gets his captain killed. How did this happen? Oh, he had these guys on like advance and cast, so they get tagged and then they're gonna run. Yeah, you don't want this guy running forward. That's kind of the long and the short of it there. But shouldn't they be regenerating giants? Oh, he only does one bless, so he doesn't even get himself. Because if he did, they're supposed to be regen. Yeah. Yeah, that's just kind of a misscript here. Otherwise, he would have won that. And again, just pinging. I think, too, in the turns we missed some of the Gath army getting killed off. And there is no knock for that. I mean, if you're Gath, you have to go out and try to control your cap circle at least. I mean, not even playing to win, just play to have fun. Like, that's a fun little mini objective. Control your cap circle. You don't get a prize for sitting in your 7,000 population cap. I think he's been blood hunting it too, which is kind of hilarious. But yeah, what other raiding? Vampire Lords coming in. But yeah, this fort is now popped. This fort is popped now too. And this has a bunch of demons on it. So I don't think Ulm is really set up to defend it. These Fiends of Darkness are pretty vicious in a fort storming battle, unless there's a major army inside. This is interesting. So top 3 positions now are Bogaroo, Marignon, and Raga. But, you know, worthy mentions are Utgard, who is now expanding a bit. Though they seem to be, once again, a bit complacent. They're like, well, this is about as much as we want. Whereas what they could do is say, we got dibs on the Ulm cap. Consolidate and move forward. Though Atlantis isn't in a position to punish them, though Marignon is definitely in a position to attack. So I can see how they're nervous with Marignon here. But all the more reason to try to take Ulm. Unless they're worried they lose a stack and then Marignon eats them. So I can understand that. But what you definitely don't want to have happen is Marignon to take Ulm. And not take many losses. So I don't know. It depends. I mean, maybe best case for them is Marignon takes Ulm and then they take it from Marignon. We'll see. Okay, Raga. Let's come check out the Raga front. Not a lot happening. And Raga, clearly the biggest, I think, right now. Though not necessarily the richest. Okay, let's see how things are happening down here on the Atlantis area. We've got... Okay, Atlantis kind of keeping this fort free. He's got a few troops he's shuffling around here. What looks like is going to happen is these Ragan forces are going to consolidate on this Atlantis fort. And Atlantis is so beaten down right now that once Raga gets it, they don't really have to worry about Atlantis taking it back, because these are pretty big forts, and it's going to take a long-ass time for Atlantis to siege through this with like 100 guys. And Atlantis isn't going to get more than 100 guys very easily. So, that's that. Turn 70. Let's go to turn 71. Turn 71. Okay. Action in the Raga front. So Raga pinging this. See what Atlantis has here. Over this way, indeed Raga does consolidate on top of this fort with a major force. A major force. Now they have, this is a force big enough to one-turn pop it with only 200 dudes, but a lot of these are flyers with pretty good siege strength on the flyers, and then also the Fiends of Darkness, very good siege strength. Some Storm Demons, good siege strength. And the Eagles, excellent siege strength, 16. So, very high siege strength in this army. So they one-turn pop it, and Atlantis, I mean, they would have to bring, they can only move stuff from these two forts. They just have nothing they can mobilize to bring a defense here. So I think this is just, this Forsaken. Raga also continuing to harass the poor and honorable Gath. Just needlessly bullying the peaceful giants. And Gath staring meanly at them from over their fort walls, while occasionally venturing out to take more land back. Let's see what he's using here for a thug. He's got a Cohen Gadal. Oh, he's got a Midget Masher. Yes. Yes, this is what we want to see. This is what people tune in for. The Heroic Endurance, 8 Encumbrance, 11 Reinvigoration, Midget Mashing, Regenerating Giant. Just hoping, begging Raga to send Zayedins at him. Because at size 6, he is going to have a word or 2 or 3 with them. I mean, he will one-hit Zayedins. Or at least in their each form. But, I mean, God, what if he sent him down here? I don't know. I mean, he'd still probably get killed by mages, potentially. But, yes, is all I have to say. Yes. Okay, continuing the Ragan adventures. I don't see much else activity happening. I don't see any potentially... there's no real war I see with Marignan. Going over to Marignan, speaking of which, Marignan has decided to storm this fort with a amazingly powerful army. There's 4 vampires over here. Okay, I think we know how that goes. So anyway, he loses a Diabolist, but he gains a fort. And now Marignan just in a very convincing position. I really like Marignan's position. I like Bogarus's position too, but I like Marignan's army composition a lot. And I feel like this is just a pile of garbage. I feel like Marignan can just walk over here and take this. And he's set up where he's very well defended on his other flank. Like, I don't think he feels very worried about Bogarus or Utgard attacking or anything. Maybe a little, and not even really that worried about Bogarus over here either. I mean, I think Bogarus probably takes this from... Okay, we'll come back to that. Let's finish Marignan. But an open question is going to be... This is Marignan attacking a Ulmish fort for a throne. The open question is going to be, what is Bogaroos's next move? Because Bogaroos may be in position 1 now. By income they are. I think it is an argument who is in position 1. I think you can argue it's Bogaroos, you can argue it's Marignon, and you can argue it's Raga. One, 2. Okay, one thing I like Marignon's position a lot. I don't think they're position 1. They're like position 2, 3, but they're in tight. What they're lacking is very good access to more thrones. They could take this one from Bogaroos, and they could take this one. Oh gosh, where are we? I'm disoriented. Help me. They could potentially take this one from Raga, but this one's, well, they can sail. This one's actually pretty poorly defended, so that would give them 4. Yeah, I don't know. I like Marignon's armies, and I think Marignon has some of the best armies on the board right now. But the game is going late, and as the game goes later, human armies tend to have some issues. You can see Atlantis not attacking anywhere. Atlantis is just accepted in some ways the horrible fate that has befallen him on his failed throne rush. Okay, so to Bogaroos, I think we've covered a lot of it. Bogaroos, I don't think they're making two. Okay, they took this. They took Joman from Atlantis. Yeah. Correct. And then they took this from Atlantis too, I think. Okay, now, Bogaroos is out. They're making hay. They're taking infrastructure from Atlantis. You know, I hesitate to say Atlantis overextended. Atlantis went all in. And this is what happens when you lose an all in. But they could have potentially made it. I really wish I didn't lose those turns. You've heard me say that quite a few times now. Okay, so what's Bogaroos's move? They can take this. Take this. What's Bogaroos's throne situation? The 2 thrones maybe closest to their cap that they don't have are owned by other... Well, they've got this one close to their cap owned by Raga. They've got this one close to their cap owned by Marignon. The other 2, southward, are owned by Bogaroos. And the 2 south of that, one of them is owned by Bogaroos, one is owned by Atlantis. What Bogaroos would love is a way to take the underwater holdings of Atlantis. I think if I were Bogaroos, that would be an objective. And to do that well, what you are going to need to do as Bogaroos is get Storm Demons. And now that is something a lot of people don't know, is that Storm Demons are the shit for fighting underwater. I think there's some Storm Demons here. I forget if you have to give them an item. I think they may be amphibious. No, they're not. You have to give them an item. But they are excellent underwater. When I say give them an item, you need water-breathing items. But they can shoot underwater. They do a lot of damage. And in general... underwater, you don't have access to a lot of the... they do well against, like... Okay, so in general, underwater, you don't have access to a lot of the big battlefield-wide damage spells and things like that. Evocations are weaker, and so troop quality tends to matter a bit more, and then also, like, how does that troop do against water elementals? These guys do pretty well against water elementals, because they can shoot... because they're ethereal. All those things are very nice. And they have pretty good HP. So especially combined with ethereal, if you can get mass regen on them and some protection buffs, they do pretty okay against water elementals and stuff. So yeah. I mean, they're also good siegers too. So in general, these make pretty decent underwater dudes. That would probably be my plan. I mean, you can obviously take other guys underwater too. I think these guys have, their armor and stuff is going to rust. But I think for Bogaroos, and maybe, it doesn't look like they have a huge blood operation set up. Like, I don't see a lot of blood hunting operations going. I'm trying to see if this is maybe one. Yeah, this is a blood hunting operation. So he's got a blood hunting operation here. I don't see a lot. So he's probably less than 100 blood slaves a turn, which is not very much. So that's probably not in the cards for him. So I guess in the meantime, like for me, for Bogarus, I would focus on getting a blood economy going and taking as much of Atlantis' land holdings as I can. And I would try to take the Atlantis underwater stuff, probably. I think that's what I would do. Because otherwise, you're going to have to go to war with so many different people to get the thrones you need to win. And just be prepared to kind of jump on top of somebody else's war for whoever else is trying to go to the throne victory. But Bogarus is huge. Look at this. They're big, but money-wise, woo, look at that. All right, I feel like we've talked about most of the people. We'll get one more turn in, because we're going to try to keep this quick. I think this is turn 71, so we got to go to turn 72. Okay. Yes. Mana drop. Atlantis coming through. This is an odd choice of something. Oh, Creeping Doom. Enslaved Mind, yes. Unfortunately, it's targeting the PD and not the vampire, which is almost certainly the target. Can you summon Earth Power? He didn't do Summon Earth Power, so he's having some fatigue issues. But he is still doing some Enslaved Mind. This is not good, because now... Oh god, he's Gifts of Heaven himself. Spellcasting AI. So... I will admit, this is with my spellcasting model. So, Monolith AI is the worst AI. There's just... It's just how it is. So he's going to drive away this vampire, but clearly he was trying to enslave him. Problem is, with PD... See, this guy's got pretty high MR 16 with not a huge amount of HP. A lot of times it's going to choose to enslave mine the PD, which we can look again, but I'm pretty sure... We can probably see the little enslaved mind icon. Yeah. Yeah, okay, it was on this guy. So they're going for him because he's like, oh, 9 MR, we should enslave mind. They're not like, hey, let's get the vampire in the back, who I clearly want to hit with enslaved mind. Anyway. I mean, that's the game working as intended, though. That's not like a bug or anything weird. The AI is just targeting things that it can probably hit with enslaved mind. So it's going to go after low MR stuff before it goes after high MR stuff. A lot of the time. Anyway, that was interesting. So Mana Drop, I would say unsuccessful, but not solely. I mean, they took a province. Atlantis, though, going back on the offensive, attacking Raga. I dig. Atlantis not to be thwarted. The other thing, too, is, you know, sometimes you just take your beating. So Atlantis has taken such a beating that, you know, people know now that, like, they are not the threat. So Diplo is going to become a lot easier for them. And, for example, nobody wants this throne to go back to Raga. Like, people are very happy with Atlantis having it now. So, you know, Atlantis, while they were the big bad guy, they can now shift to maybe trying to form an anti-Raga coalition or something like that. And they've moved a lot of guys inside. So they're definitely preparing to defend this. Meanwhile... Bogarus not wanting to finish off Atlantis. Bogarus says, we've taught you a lesson, we've taken some of your forts, but instead of coming up here and taking the rest of his holdings, maybe going after his cap, Bogarus moving south, which shows that he's planning on attacking Raga. So it's very possible there is an anti-Raga coalition forming. The chief participants, if Bogarus is in it, the other one to obviously look at is going to be Marignon. And Marignon would probably like that very much because they could potentially snipe this throne off of it. And then all of this land is undefended. It could also be a 1v1. So we'll have to see. Over in... Well, let's do a few things. So... oh gosh, what was I looking at? This one. Okay, so Atlantis rides out to try to stop Raga from taking this fort, but... I mean, this is too little. Oh... I don't even know what this is happening, because it looks... Oh, scripted people to retreat? Okay. Heliophagus. Interesting. Kills a lot of them. Normally if you do a retreat script like this, which is what it looks like, you want your guys at the very back. I don't know what this was, to be honest. And then, yeah, they stormed the fort. It looks like he was trying to evacuate his guys, but he didn't. He did it kind of clumsily, it appears. Whew. How the mighty have fallen. Okay. We also have Gath under siege now. With a giant god block out, the Rock. With every path, just kidding, but with lots of paths. Also extremely vulnerable to magic duel. This is a lot of HP though, guys. A lot of HP. Rigor Mortis up? You do not want to cast the Rigor Mortis versus this guy. Okay, mages have gotten in shooting range. And he cast Iron Skin, so he has shock vulnerability. Not good. Now he probably... One of the things you can often do is like Elemental Fortitude and stuff, which are going to help. What is his reinvigoration here? 7, so he did do Summoner's Fire, that's good. I think he's mostly just going to struggle with getting hit by lightning bolts. Because there's enough mages on advance and cast spells. And then potentially I think Incinerate could come out too. Yeah. It's like he has really good protection, but he doesn't have very good protection against magic stuff. And then, like, I think if we look at all the damage he's taken... Here he took 4 damage from a sword from a Zayedin. Here he took... Lightning Bolt. Okay, I think this guy has a Sculptado Volturnus or the Lightning Hat. Let's see. He's got a Lightning Hat. This is what's killing him. This one item is what's going to win him the battle. Because there's not really many guys on advance and cast spells. Yeah, I think that was what won them the battle, that one item. Burn out his communion, though. Rip the God block, which is going to mean taking the cap's actually going to be reasonably easy now, because the mighty giants aren't going to have any bless. So... Oh, the Kohen Gadol comes in, swinging his mighty hammer. Oh gosh, he just gets magic dueled. Well, now we've seen it. So there were a lot of magic duels, though. It took 4 to kill him. I think he was Astral 3, too, so it's not a very high chance. Yeah. So watch what happens. They're all going to magic duel. One of them got it. Rip. Such is the fate of charity subbing. You typically lose. I charity subbed in a game, and I think I just got knocked out. I got my God block killed yesterday. But I had a lot of fun doing it. It was fun. Okay, so then coming over to this part, we've got scouts. Scouts, these are all scouts getting caught. Ulm raiding out with some El Cheapo moves. Marignan not looking like they're going to be very... So they took this. I guess maybe we missed a battle here with this. Maybe that happened last turn, or maybe... Who knows? Marignan not looking like they're wanting to do the killing blow, because they definitely could have moved forward this past turn. Looking instead like they're eyeing this Bogarusian throne, if I had to guess. So there's that. Any other movement on the Marinese front? I don't see much. I don't see much at all. Bogarus looking very aggressive up here. We've got a lot of troops in this part of the world for Bogarus, but also a lot of troops from Marignan. So it looks like after the powers have kind of shifted, everybody's... Well, Raga is still trying to eat Atlantis. Jomin looks like it's moving in down towards Raga. We have an uncomfortable Cold War brewing between Bogarus and Marignan. Bogarus it looks like it's pretty set up to do aggressive stuff, but not against Atlantis. And it's looking at Marignan and Raga. So it'll be interesting to see how this unfolds. And I think we're going to call it there for the episode, folks. So thank you again for watching, and we will see you next time.